have a special session for everyone today. We have two amazing young entrepreneurs that are doing something amazing for the community and also for the realtor community, I should say. So before I begin, I would love to give a shout out to Saki559 for really hosting tonight's dinner. We really appreciate the sushi was amazing, guys. Could you agree?
Absolutely.
Yes.
So now we are about to start because we are now in session.
All right, guys. Now we got Cade and Scott right here. So I met them a few years back, and they had their own podcast called Pursuit of Properties. So I'm going to start with you, Scott. Tell us a little bit about yourself.
Shoot,
Let's do it right there. Just tell us right there.
I'm used to it.
On the spot, bro.
I was gonna make a joke at Cade that I got to go
You
first.
should have been like, so,
You don't want to sit on the black couch first, man.
more like, why are you doing this?
Yeah.
So you guys already introduced it. So Cade and I, we both work as realtors at Keller Williams Fresno. We both run an investing company, each separate companies, and we run an out-of-state buy and hold real estate company. So together we kind of work together. We buy and sell, we flip, wholesale, anything you can think of, we try to do.
Wow.
Man. How did you get into real estate, though?
Amazing.
Like, because I know you started working at Cup of Joy, but how you jump from Cup of Joy to doing investings?
It was pretty much an experience at just the right place at the right time. Sure. So at the time I was in school, you guys all have degrees, no? No?
I do.
I knew we were vibing.
Okay,
All right.
I know.
So,
No, cut this shit. Cut this shit.
All
All right.
No, I'm like, we don't need no degree up in here. We can make money still.
he said, I know an idiot when I see one. So I was working at Cup of Joy, like you mentioned, kind of got started. Mm-hmm. Essentially, I fell into the right position. So a buddy of mine, Benny, was full-time as a real estate agent and just needed some help in the back end. I happened to have some graphic design background, some social media stuff, and honestly, more than anything, I just didn't want to go to school. So I had a lot of willpower to just pressure through whatever I had to do. Sure. So at the time, I was making like $100 a week doing like miscellaneous stuff, like 6 to 12 hours there a week working on stuff. And then finally, Benny was like, hey, why don't you get your real estate license? And I was like, like 6 weeks ago, I didn't know what a realtor was. So why would I do that? Ended up getting my real estate license. And then since then, I've just developed kind of slowly but surely under a couple good mentors.
What made you recognize that opportunity that was available to you?
I wish I could say I had some clairvoyance moment, but honestly, pure luck. What happened was I was supposed to meet with a plumber. What happened? So my family's all 4-year degrees, and they didn't really say that you had to go get a 4-year degree to be successful. So my parents were like, "Hey, if you really hate school so much, like you've always had like a background in wanting to work, like you're good at working. Why don't you just go see if you can find something you like, and then if it needs a degree, you come back." Yeah. So I had talked to a plumber. He was one of the Cup of Joy regulars as well. And I was like, hey, you run a pretty successful plumbing business. I have no problems getting my hands dirty. Like, why don't I come see what you do?
Like dirty.
So you were supposed to start with being a plumber. Now you're an investor.
Hey, man.
So it was pure luck. I didn't have any recognition. It just happened that Benny was free one day.
So don't lie. You saw that meme where that guy was like ass into that pit where there's water. And he was a plumber. And so he got in there and he jumped in, and all you saw was his leg hanging out, but he was all the way in fixing a leaking plumbing water. So was that the meme you guys seen or no?
No.
No, you know.
We're on different
sides.
sides.
No, that's what I'm saying, dude. Like,
Toby, I think your HVAC has gotten to your head a little bit.
I don't know what meme site you be going on, dude.
Remove the nuts. Remove the nuts.
So like when the first time I heard about your story, I was thinking about the scene where Wolf of Wall Street.
Yes.
Where Jonah Hill kind of went to
that up. Yep.
to the restaurant and he saw
No
Leonardo.
drugs were done.
Yeah. But he was like, hey, show me how much money you make. You show me that and I'll quit right now.
Show me a paycheck.
Yes.
Yeah. Bam.
So that's how I kind of picture
it. Kind of ended up being that way. What I would say too, though, is that like I had no clue how much a realtor made. I had no clue how it worked. All I knew was I'm better at this than I am at school. Yeah. And so if I get into this and then I want to go do something else, this will be one stepping stone to get there. And I still don't see real estate as the end game for me. It's a great piece to be at, but like it was just the first place.
Sure.
Guys,
I mean, you're still young, man.
How,
I am.
How old are you?
Damn.
24.
24. God.
And Cade, how did you get into all this?
Yeah, it was kind of similar to Scott. It was kind of being at the right place at the right time, kind of the stars aligned, so to speak. I was going through school, graduated from Fresno State. I actually got connected with Benny's mother at a Fresno State networking event. It was a little fundraising shindig. I had given a speech there, and Benny's mom had come up to me after the speech, had never seen this woman, never talked to her before in my life. Wow.
You are a good-looking guy. I would come up to you too, man.
Thank you.
So
Thank you.
Benny is the key to all of this right now.
Benny is the key. Benny is the key. She came up to me, just kind of told me, hey, really great job on your speech. Just kind of was prying my brain a little bit on what I was doing, where I wanted to go. And she asked me, what do you want to do? And I mean, this is my second year at college, really still just getting all the bullshit GE out of the way. You're repeating high school. I'm like, dude, I mean, I could give you the same answer where I don't know what the hell I'm going to do. But I threw out that, hey, I was kind of interested in real estate. And that was actually the first time, excuse me, I'd kind of verbalized that to anybody. And so, things happen, things blah, 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 blah. And then finally get connected with Benny, start over kind of in an admin position over with the team, and then kind of grow from there.
Wow, basically just getting your feet wet,
Yeah.
Yeah, getting your feet wet and learning.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
What degree were you going into?
So at the time I was undeclared, I ended up graduating with my BS in business administration, emphasis in finance, and a minor in economics. Wow. Yeah.
Nice.
So now, like, with the traditional education, going to college and all that stuff, is that big difference from what you guys started learning working with the Clayson Group?
Oh my God. Well, I can attest to, I mean, I started, I was exposed to Scott, Benny, Jason, the whole team, maybe 2.5 years into college, and a month goes by and I'm already like, what the hell? I've learned more here in 1 month than I've learned in the whole 2.5 years that I was in college. I would say that the real world experience was really hard to beat, and being able to be a part of that team, surrounded with great team members, mentors, that real life experience is unmatched. I mean, it's great having a piece of paper. You need it for some things, you need it for or you don't need it for others. I mean, I would say it's really the consensus of the table, and anybody who says you need a degree to be successful is absolutely wrong.
Yeah.
Or they're making money off of it. I was gonna say.
I agree with that.
Oh, I'm still paying, man. I'm still paying the price.
So I want to put some out there. Cade and I mess with each other a lot, but Cade took over the position that I was working for with Benny, and I will say that was a humbling experience because Cade is very good at things that I'm not good at. And I don't know if
vice versa.
Yeah, and I don't think Cade learned all of it from school, but Cade came in with an understanding of business that was what's much more comprehensive than I was. I was definitely there to rise and grind. Like I was there to get stuff done, but I never really was doing it the right way. And I think I handed off the ropes to Cade in a way that we had some ideas of what we wanted to do and how we were going to get there, but Cade implemented some really good stuff. And honestly, I think that is one of the differences that did happen between the education side. And I'm again, tell me if I'm wrong. You've learned a lot
to
from
tie it
school,
all in.
business wise.
Yeah. I mean, I was, after, when I got into real estate, 2.5 years into college, months and months go by, and it's like, dude, I'm sitting here. Now I am learning some great things, but it's like, all of my time and energy I want to pour into real estate, right? It was really tough to keep school the number one priority when, real estate was kind of now this shining gem that I'm learning about, you can make money in, school. I'm paying them to go and, sit in the classroom and all this stuff. But I mean, just like anything, pros and cons, it's definitely situational. you know, I would be lying to you if I said it hasn't helped me in all of my aspects of building the business and you know, being an entrepreneur. But like we said, was it needed? No, absolutely not. Has it helped? Yes.
So talking about grinding, because you were saying rise and grind. So what's the hardest part about being your own boss, pretty much? Like waking up, making those, because I know you guys did a lot of phone banking, like day after day.
Cold
like
calls, man. Tell me about those cold
Yeah,
calls.
dude, like
How many times do you guys get cussed at?
So we call it so we call it phone banking, just so that way we feel a little bit better than saying cold call.
Okay.
So you know, because
So it's an ego thing.
yeah, it's an ego thing. Because like when you're making phone calls, you're like, oh man, this shit sucks. But when you go, hey, this is a bank. Like who has my money? Kind of like Uncle G. It's like who has my money? I'm calling them. So you're like a collection for yourself.
I like that.
So tell me a little bit about how that started.
I'll share my side because Cade and I deal with different struggles. I would say like the hardest part for me has been like the mental aspect. So I love to work. I don't have a problem working. The uncertainty is sometimes really scary. And I've had to teach myself because I didn't come from a job that like I jumped out of school. I was working as a busser. Then I worked at Cup of Joy. So I kind of understood a little bit about like what it's like to have a 9-to-5, like have a job that pays you consistently. But dude, starting at 18 or 19 into a self-employed job, I don't really understand what it's like to have that security. And I think I always kind of fantasize that the grass is always greener on the other side. To me, I've always really dealt with the uncertainty of knowing like every decision I make has a financial impact on myself. And now that I'm getting married, it will be my family, right? So that's been probably the hardest thing. I don't have a hard time waking up and going to work. I don't really have a hard time actually doing a lot of the work.
You have a responsibility.
Yeah, but waking up and realizing like, oh my, if I don't work, and this is on me right now, but if I wake up and I don't go to work, I'm not making money today.
Right.
And I think a lot of guys who have made it, they've set themselves up in a way that that's not the case. And I'm trying to do that. But when you're 23, 24, you're still learning, right? And so that's definitely been the hardest part of being my own boss.
Right. So now have you ever thought like, man, I'm tired of this. I just want to quit?
I was on the phone with a buddy of mine, Dylan, this morning. This year, I more than doubled my income. I bought my house. I'm getting married. It's a great year financially.
And I like how you slipped that in twice. We didn't even congratulate him at all.
Congratulations, bro.
Yeah, congratulations, man.
Bro,
Thank you.
I just want to make sure a couple of you guys,
waiting for that. Like, man, none of
couple of you guys were making eyes. All right.
Yeah, I waited for a second when he said
Lucky's just slipping his business card across the table over to you.
And I'm not a business card, buddy.
So what I was going to say,
Hey, you're gonna need a session here too.
what I was going to say is this year has been harder than any other year because of all the shit in the news and everything going on. So I would be lying to you if I didn't have more than one or two experiences where I wanted to quit, even when I'm by a lot of standards riding really high right now. And I think you would agree with me. It's not like you hit a level of like stuff's going good and then it's like everything just is like easy and there's no problems. It's like as you level up, your problems get more difficult. So you make more money. And like fantasizing that like someday my life's just going to be easy has kind of gone away, and that's a lot harder to understand.
Because your mindset has changed since when you first started. And Cade, like you said, when you started, what age?
Oh crap! I was 19,
Dude,
maybe 19.
Yeah, same as
Have
me.
you ever had that thought like, you know, man, I'm just tired of this. I just want to quit. I'm just going to go work and use my degree for something.
Well, I know Scott said, you know, once or twice for him this year. For this year, I would be lying if I said it wasn't a lot more than once or twice. And I'm in the same position, not the exact same position, but in a similar position as Scott, where this year has been compared to last year and then the year before, where I made, you know, dirt, you know, for the entire year. This year has been really good comparative to last year with the growth. But like Scott said, and we focused on this topic in one of our most recent podcasts, it may have been a week or two ago, where the problems don't go away as you make more money or as you continue to see more success or as you progress in whatever field you're in, right? The problems don't go away. The problems just change. Right. So, you know, X, Y, and Z problem may have gone away, but now A, B, and C problem, you know, are here with where you're at. So to answer your question, yes, absolutely. I think the thing we have to keep telling ourselves as business owners, as entrepreneurs, you know, as podcast hosts, when you're trying to build something from the ground up, right? These happen overnight at the snap of the fingers, right? So
I'm looking at someone across the table from me right now. Mr. Obama over there.
So I think when you're trying to build something, it takes more of a discipline, right? You have to really kind of tell yourself and be your own coach, and you kind of have to like do it because nobody else is gonna tell you, hey, you got to get up, make money. Hey, you got to get up, you know, and you got to go make this so you could buy your next food.
Well, I think what's unique about also their story is the mentorship that they had along the way too.
We have been
Right.
absolutely
Right.
blessed with
I
good
think-
mentors.
I think that's important for a young 18, 19-year-old to really step in this space and kind of learn and you know, try to integrate into policies and systems and
Honestly, for any age.
yeah, for any age, you know.
So who's your biggest mentor right now?
right now, or
Or
someone, maybe
in
someone
the
you look
process.
up
okay.
Yeah.
I mean, the two easy right off the bat answers would be both of our mentors who led the team would be, you know, Benny Clay and Jason Pritchard. You know, without their coaching, without their mentorship, without their friendship, I mean, you guys hit the nail on the head where it doesn't matter what age, but even more so for a young entrepreneur, a young person who's looking to go build a business, right? Having a mentor is it can make or break.
We
to
preach
be
it.
honest.
Yeah, we preach it all day. Like I feel bad for the guys who get into this business and try to figure it out.
Yeah.
Like
Themselves.
there are a lot, and my dad, and I can say this because my dad works with both Benny and Jason now. But when I got started, my dad like pulled me aside and was like, "Hey, I don't care what you do, do what you please, but not everybody's here to help you, right?" And he was like, "I don't want you getting in deep with two guys who might, you know, screw you over." And 3 or 4 years go by, and my dad like approached us and was like, me and Benny was like, "Hey, I need to make an amends. Like I assumed the worst of Benny and Jason, and now I would say that my dad has just as good of a relationship with those guys as most anybody I know." And he's like, "Hey, those guys freaking set you up for success, set up Cade for success," because my dad is now friends with Cade, set up a whole bunch of stuff. Even my dad's making money because he's learned from Benny and Jason.
The whole team.
And Charles said a thing, something to us earlier, I think a couple of days ago, just to brief us on you guys, right? So they actually kicked you guys to the curb and let you grow on your own.
No.
Is that true?
I didn't say they got kicked out.
It's the
I said
exact
they got,
opposite.
yeah.
So
All
they
right,
remain
I'll let you-
mentors to you guys.
Let me explain real quick.
Okay.
Yeah. Let me just, because let me clear this up. People think when you leave a team, like stuff always goes bad. It's like a breakup. When the team split up in April of 2021, here's what happened. Yeah, last year. So Cade and I were doing a decent amount of stuff on our own. We owned 9 rentals. We were running separate real estate sales. And Benny and Jason were both really busy, right? So here's what happened. We sat down. We said, where does everybody want to go? And Jason wanted to do one thing. And Benny wanted to do a different thing. And Cade and I wanted to do a different thing. And everybody was doing different stuff. So here's what happened. We ended up saying, like, look, let's all stay friends and keep doing business together. And let's not work in the same freaking office every damn day.
Let me clear that up because I didn't say they got kicked out. No, because that's a bullshit right there. Because I said
the physical therapist.
knowing Jason and Benny, they would never do that.
This makes for good
encourage you
content,
guys to
okay?
start your
Look
own
at Charles
thing.
now.
We're trying to defense right now. Oh,
Hell yeah! Like, how are you gonna come and just say
trying to get the clickbait
we need
going on
to
over
get this
here.
shit straight.
But I think you guys reach a point in your career where you have different vision. Everyone on that team had different vision, and it was time to kind of part ways, even though it was mutual. You know
But
what
through
I mean?
that separation, you guys had personal growth
Right.
along the way as well, though, right? With you guys kind of separating
We-
yourselves from, but still has a mentorship along the way as well.
Cade and I joked that like we're like already married because we have all this stuff together, right?
Right.
Scott, stop talking about marriage.
Dude, I'm not the one walking down the aisle in October.
You are though. Okay.
Contrary to popular belief.
My wife's probably gonna watch this later, but if you have a chance to run if you can. You know?
All of a sudden, my wife. Hey,
Whoa.
hey, all of a sudden, my wife.
Yeah, it's supposed to be single.
He said he was single. Okay.
No, you.
He puts on the
here,
fedora
let me-
and he's
yeah,
got
let
a
me-
whole new
let me wrap up this
persona
thought.
going on.
Here, let me wrap up this thought real quick. You were asking, did it lead to like a lot of
Personal
growth? Cade and I, at that point, were 20 and 21.
Oh
and,
my goodness.
And we were like, I'll just say, so I was making like a couple $100,000 a year, right? And I have some success behind me, and I have some win in my sales, and Cade's doing something similar, and we're like, what the fuck now?
Yeah,
Right? Like,
yeah.
Hey, is that white claw kicking in? All of a sudden.
Did we meet the baseline? Or are we gonna go up a little bit higher?
So what happened is that Cade and I were like, well, if we're gonna do this, like
Let it
we're
out,
gonna
bro. Just let it out.
Well, no, I'm gonna start crying like that one guy. Okay, so
Go ahead, bro.
Sapal, sorry, Sapal.
I can do it. What are we doing? What are we doing?
I can do it.
okay.
Go ahead.
So here's the thing, though. We were like, how are we gonna do this? And we had to actually like rebuild. Because you guys are asking, like, what was it like to be your own business owner? Like, at that point, that's when we kind of really became serious about being our own business owner.
Right.
And we set up an accountability setup, and we set up certain meetings. We started reading specific books. We were, like, clocking in at the same time. We treated it, like, militantly with a schedule. And it was more of an accountability standpoint. And, like, the personal growth came from understanding the highs and the lows of the business at a different level.
Right.
That would be where it really changed. And Benny and Jason, the cool thing with them was that their mentorship has continued today. I mean, Benny and Jason are coming to the wedding. I see them every day. I go out of my way to stay friends with them because, dude, there is like literally, and you'll agree with me, no amount of money we could pay them to help for what they did for us.
Priceless.
Right?
Yeah.
And that's like been key.
Right,
So back to that mentorship and back to the personal growth, like
They
we
go-
just got really lucky, dude.
Yeah.
So
Honestly.
now, like, because you guys have been so lucky with mentorships, are you guys open to being a mentor to other people?
I mean, that was really one of the main driving purposes behind us even starting the podcast. I mean, we were, it was a little before that. I mean, we were still maybe 20 and 21, maybe 21 and 22 when we first had this idea of, hey, you know, let's start this podcast. And we joked last week, or I joked with Scott last week. I was like, looking back, who the hell would sit in and watch a 20 and 21-year-old who out of nowhere sit there and listen to what they have to say?
What's your podcast called?
The Pursuit of Property podcast. Yeah. So, you know, that really the main goal, the mantra, the vision of that podcast, we are specifically aimed at young entrepreneurs looking to buy, sell, or invest in real estate. Sweet. So through that podcast, I mean, we've, you know, maybe not an official mentor
In a direct
role,
way.
in a direct way, but we've had so many people approach us. We've met with so many people just to share what we learned and hopefully pass it down in a way that, you know, it was just as good when we received it.
I was just, well, and like to butt in about that, we had a guy who Cade had met with, Jake, and Jake literally, through listening to the podcast and just getting it on, he also took he got a couple other things like classes and stuff. Sure. But referenced Cade a lot for stuff. He did his first deal. We had him on the podcast. I was texting him today. He's got like 6 escrows right now. The fool is crushing it.
Yes.
And we aren't going to claim any fame to this, but what we will say is,
Claim it, bro. Claim
Take
it.
the credit, bro. Take the credit.
but like that's the shit that we live for,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
And like,
Yeah.
so we might not be mentors, but we try to sprinkle in support to every person that reaches out.
So I want to take it back. We talk about you guys being so young and really just driven. Along with that being so young, there's a lot of sacrifices. Maybe I don't know if you guys partied, or I don't know if you guys, you know, did a lot of traveling.
Dude, they don't even drink, bro.
Well, no, but like you have to make a lot of sacrifice, right? I think our viewers too, you know, you guys are tuning in, but like someone 19 and 20 years old to get where you guys are at today, there has to be some sacrifices. Can you share a little bit about what those sacrifices?
What made you want to bet on yourself?
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah,
like,
well, and I mean, It's funny you mentioned that because I went through the whole college thing, right? And college is like a breeding ground for, you know, partying, getting off course, kind of just slinging it while you're going through the bullshit,
Totally.
right?
You said slinging it.
Totally.
Okay, that's all I need to know.
Is that a frat vocab? No,
So, and I can speak for myself. You know, I don't, and I don't think it's tooting my own horn or anything like that. But I really just didn't think I was like any, you know, normal 18 or 19-year-old.
You felt out of place then.
Yeah, you know, I wasn't, you know, eager and jumping in to go party every night or you know, go out and do these things and not stay focused, right? You compare that to a lot of other young people, even our age now or even younger, right? Where, you know, if that's something, you know, you do want to go, and I'm obviously not, you know, anti going out and having fun, right? Like, I mean, I'll go out and have a couple drinks, you know, once a month or something like that.
So this is the one time
He's
this
got
month.
to now. He's got to be careful because HR is sitting next to him.
But you off the clock though, man.
I'm on. Hey,
You're always on clock. Don't stop. Clock don't stop.
Realtors, clock don't stop.
Always on the clock.
That's true.
No, I think, you know, you're touching, you know, I bring up this subject or topic because I think our viewers, they have this persona that, you know, you can party and do all that. I get it. You can. That's your choice. But if you want to be successful, there's a dedication, there's a sacrifice that you have to give up just a little bit.
absolutely,
Right?
absolutely. There is, you know, a certain aspect. If you're wanting to be here by this time, or if you've got this, you know, there. You know, I'm not going to lie. Yes, there is going to be a sacrifice. Now, it's up to you as the individual to decide, you know, is this sacrifice worth it? Kind of the give and take with everything. But yeah, I mean, just as any business owner can attest to, you know, or anybody, right? A husband, a wife, you know, anything. There's always going to be a little give and take. There's always going to be sacrifices that need to be made for, you know, whatever to be met. So, yeah.
All right, man, I want to switch it up a little bit because you've been doing investings in real estate for a minute. Tell us the most craziest thing that happened during investing. Like, I know you guys got some crazy stories out there somewhere.
Can you share a little bit more about what crazy means to you?
I got one.
Go ahead.
Scott always closes. Scott always closes.
I don't know what that means. All right. So I don't know you college lingo terms. So I was going to this house. It was on Cavaland, and this is in a place called Kawa, and it's here in town. Not a great area, and I went there. And
I know that area,
Really
man.
hood,
I used to
man.
live there, bro. So you're now
just
you're
hit his
gonna,
heart,
what
Scott.
are you gonna say?
Scott, you did his heart.
He's redlining.
so I went there, and I was checking up on a flip we had bought, and it wasn't me. I was helping Benny and Jason with the flip they had bought. Let me clarify. And at that time, I was not as experienced as I am now. And I showed up. I hadn't really told anybody where I was at. I didn't really have it on my calendar, like what I was doing. So I was thinking to myself, like, bro, if something happened here, nobody would know where to look. Like, you would never look for me here. But I was going to look at this property, and I walked up, and I remember seeing that the board, because most of these houses get boarded up, right? I remember seeing the board was moved to the side. I was like,
Squatters.
shit. And I mean, you guys see me now. I'm not intimidating now, and I was less intimidating then. and I thought to myself, okay.
You need to get some tattoos, bro.
Hiatus. I won't ever get a tattoo because that shit is false marketing. I am not trying to get my ass beat. I'm not that tough. I am not that guy. Okay, so I show up to the property, and I walk in, and I'm like, okay, like this is one of my like early on in my career, and I'm taking photos. That's my whole job is to take a ton of photos.
Yeah.
I'm like, realtor, anybody here? Nobody. Okay, I'm walking through. I also have a terrible fear of dogs. And so I'm walking through, I'm taking photos, and I hear this dog barking, and I'm freaking out a little bit. And I'm literally watching this back hallway because I'm kind of concerned about if somebody's here because the board was open, right? So I walk through, I take the photos I need. I take the backyard photos before I go back inside the house to the back. Because I'm like, bro, I'm
Just in case. I need to run.
So he's standing around the property first before he goes inside.
You
So-
set up find my iPhone. Before
Yeah. So there's fast twitch muscle and slow twitch muscle. All right. I'm not quick, but I got the distance, so I need to get a head start. All right. So I go to walk in the back, right, and I look down because I step in the carpet and I feel a squish, and I'm like, ooh. I look down. There's footprints that walked into the back, and I'm like, they only went one way. And I was like, I am so fucked. And I'm like, realtor, and I'm screaming. I'm like, if you're here, no problem. Like, I'm just taking some photos. I'm an intern. All right, so I'm walking through, and literally, I'm clearing each corner like I'm some idiot SWAT guy, like swerving, right?
Out of Call of Duty.
All right, I got a couple photos, right? And when I get to the master, what ends up happening is this motherfucker starts running at me, and I ran out the house thinking this is the end of me, and he ran the other way and he left. And I thought to myself, like, oh, that was a lucky swoop because he didn't chase me. He was just trying to get away, right? Yeah. And I got back in the car because I'm not, no fucking way I'm going back in there. There might be two of them. They might have done a piggyback ride or something. And so I left and I called Benny, and he was like, ah, dude, you should never fucking go in that house by yourself. Like, ever again. Like, just if the thing's open, call the cops. It's over, just call the cops.
But he didn't tell you this before you.
No, you know.
Nah, dude, you gotta
testing
learn.
your metal, man. He's testing your metal.
Yeah, bro.
How old is Benny?
Benny's like, I think he's 37 or 38.
Oh wow,
He's
our
young.
age.
If
Literally.
This is the Benny.
Okay. Sorry, Benny, but there's no way you're younger than I am.
Nah, I think he's younger than Jason. Jason's 40.
Okay.
No,
Benny
no.
graduated in
Do you have a picture of
2002.
him, Scott? by
He's
chance?
our age.
He's our age.
Yeah, he graduated in
Well,
2002.
well, here. What? Did he go to college?
Yeah,
Where did he go?
He did.
Washington.
Washington.
So I know Benny.
What?
So,
Everybody fucking knows Benny.
So Benny, you're watching this. This is lucky. He'll probably be like, oh, you're on Lucky's freaking show, man. But no, Benny and I met a long time ago. And I don't know if we want to share this on the podcast. But yeah, but hello, Benny. No, we met a long time ago, mutual friends.
Okay.
I haven't seen him in a while. And did he play football?
Yeah, he was
There
a
it
wide
is.
receiver.
That's the same
Yep.
Benny I know.
Yep.
Yep,
Benny Clay.
Same Benny, no. We used to hang out. We used to hang out many times. So that's cool. Glad to know that you guys are.
Yeah,
Benny-
that's a small world.
Benny
Small world.
and Jason are like single-handedly some of the biggest influences
Yeah.
in our lives. So
Yeah.
In
Benny
the
turned out-
real estate market, period.
no.
Yeah.
No, and biggest
Oh,
influence. in the real
oh! I was like, bro, in my whole life,
In
it's
general,
not just
yeah,
real
yeah,
estate.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
No.
Not your life.
No, not.
All right, I'm gonna follow up on your question. I
Yes.
got another story.
Go ahead,
If we got
okay.
time.
Go for it.
Also,
Oh, we got time, we got
I'm gonna
time.
point at something if somebody doesn't mind sliding it. Yeah,
Refill
thank
the,
you.
Can you refill the water?
I'm like, time out, please.
This podcast is brought to you by Coca-Cola.
Hey, shout
great
out to Benny,
H2O,
man. I haven't
guys.
seen him in a long time, man.
So,
Definitely need to
I
connect
know
with
which
him.
one you're talking
oh,
about.
thank
But
you.
yeah, Cade, go for it, Cade.
No, this LaCroix is delicious. Thank you. So, going off a horror investment story, I'll talk about it real quick. I was actually, my buddy had flipped a house over in the hood of Fresno.
Oh, here we go. Southeast Fresno again.
Over in the hood. So,
Southeast Fresno again.
And I was his listing agent, right? So, we got this thing across the finish line. Boom, got it listed. From day one of having this thing up, issues with break-ins, windows breaking, squatters living in there. Dude, this was an unbelievable roller coaster. But there's one scenario out of that whole crapshoot that sticks out to me was, if you guys are familiar with any sort of real estate terminology,
I know a guy.
I was I was there
he
for the
bald?
appraisal. So I was meeting an appraiser at the property, and what the appraiser does is formulate an opinion of value, right, for the bank. So the appraiser is sent out. Typically, the listing agent will meet the appraiser out there. So I knew that we've had problems forever on this house, and I was like, by God's grace, we need this home to come in at value. So I show up 15 minutes early. I make sure everything is dialed in, right? So I show up. I open the gate. It's got a little chain link fence before the front door. I open that up. I open the front door. I flip on all the lights. Make sure everything's looking good for the appraiser. Kind of do a walkthrough. Make sure just everything's in tip-top shape, right? There was no trash or anything from any squatters. We had already cleared that up about 20 times before that.
The previous time before that, Cade and I were walking around with knives and flashlights. So this was a house.
So you're going like this, right?
That exactly. I'm going in like SWAT member, like going and clearing each room, right? So then I walk out, and it's like the Hallelujah Angels, right? As I'm waiting for the appraiser to pull up, just as he pulls up, and I'm like, this is what we're dialed in. We're in cruise. I'm good, right? Appraiser gets out. He starts his thing. He checks, takes his measurements all on the outside and so forth. And then we make our way inside, right? And this house, it's small 2-bedroom, 1-bath house, right? You got your living room right when you walk in. And then there's a hallway to the kitchen and a bedroom door, right? So if you're standing in the living room, all you can see is the living room and the hallway down to the kitchen, right? So I'm standing in the corner. The appraiser's kind of doing his thing in the kitchen, kind of bullshitting with me. How's the weather? Blah blah blah, right? All of a sudden, I see that bedroom door to the living room creak open like a scene from The Conjuring, bro. Opens up, shit. And I'm standing there just about ready to shit my pants. With the appraiser standing, and mind you, the appraiser can only see down that hallway, right? So really, I'm only in the appraiser's point of view because the kitchen's a hallway, I'm in the living room, right? And so I'm kind of like talking to the appraiser here and kind of keeping my eye on here, and then the squatter just kind of does like the Bigfoot walk out into the living room. and I'm like, I'm sitting here, the appraiser's still talking to me, and I'm still like, yeah, no, for sure. This dude has got a hunting knife about freaking 2 feet long. It felt like, as he's doing this Bigfoot walk. And, I am now frozen in my tracks. I don't even see the appraiser. My eyes are set on this guy. And as he's doing that Bigfoot walk, he turns to me and he goes,
oh my God.
Oh, hell no.
I want to start running.
So I am still frozen in my tracks because I'm like, for my buddy, for my client, this appraisal is coming in at value. I don't care what's happening, right? And what he does, and it's like slow motion. He opens the screen door just very faintly. I'm like, crap, I hope the appraiser didn't hear that. Kind of opens the door, kind of closes it softly behind him, and then the dude sprints across the front yard and then hops the fence. But everything worked out. Appraisal came in at value, and everything. But absolutely a moment that was the shit that you can deal with real estate investments. It's it's
so
crazy.
every time you guys walk up to a house, it's more like trying to guess what's there because you don't know what's there, right?
Yeah, it's kind of a mixed. It's like a mixed bag, right? So you spend a portion of your time like checking the real estate, and you spend a majority of the time checking the story, right? So a lot of your time is you're just talking with the seller.
Right.
Sweet. So I finished. I missed the ending of that one. So I know you got a black belt in karate. Did that thing kick in?
No, he's frozen. You know what? To be absolutely open and honest with you, dude, I saw the knife was just big. The Bigfoot walk,
yeah.
Now dude, that's a knife.
Froze me right in my tracks, right there. No,
so all that karate shit just went out the door.
All of that stuff went right out the window. Oh my, no, yeah. That's a funny story. I like retelling, and so does my buddy who listed the house. He was like, just jaw dropped, just like speechless. I'm like, hey, got it in at value for you.
I remember the call after too. The call after Cade, because the time before he had gone there too, he called me or I called him, and he and I were talking, and we were like just BSing about like, what are you doing? And we were like within a quarter mile of each other, and we didn't realize it. He was like, yeah, I got to clear this house. And that's the time with the knife. Yeah. And I was like, bro, I'm right by you. And I don't have a lot of blessings, but one of my blessings is a sense of direction. And I knew how to get to his spot real quick. So I got there. I was like, just wait for me. We showed up, bro. We each had like a 4-inch pocket knife. We were both sweating bullets, bro. We had to clear a basement. It was bad.
But you got a flashlight too, though. You like, come on, let's get it. Let's get it.
Yeah, no, it was tough.
So take me back again. I think, some of our viewers may have questions about like investment or starting your own firm, being this entrepreneur. Where do you guys now, as you guys run your own business, where does that ceiling go? Are we expanding this? What is your
What's the next step?
Where's your vision at now?
Where's your goal?
We have different goals. I
Different
think
goals?
to a degree.
Yeah.
I would like to figure out how to make the same amount of money and not have to work.
Less work, less time.
Yeah.
Passive.
You're getting married. I want to spend more time with family,
Back
wife.
to marriage, bro.
Right.
He's passing the his card in a minute.
I know.
I'm just saying.
The
I'm-
counselor.
Less time.
counselor
so,
card.
yeah, so
He's trying to get invited to the wedding. That's what
Yes.
he's trying to do right now.
good lad.
Yeah.
The registry is public.
Yeah,
So yeah, for me, I feel pretty happy with where the business is at.
Sure.
Obviously, you can always be doing more. Would I rather be getting close to a goal or chasing something new? For me, I want to get close to the goal.
Goal.
My goal when I started was to make a certain amount of money in the least amount of time.
Sure.
I figured out how to make the money. How do I not work?
Right.
So for me, I'm focusing on hiring out the people who remove my day-to-day stuff
Day to day.
and get me to a point where
You're trying to streamline it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice.
And-
nice.
Part of that is mentorship too. Now,
Yeah.
he gets to be a mentor,
Right.
Develop these young folks, right, and also looking to build that knowledge to get into the space.
Yeah.
It's a great strategy.
Now that you mentioned that you're trying to hire out the day-to-day basis, the job that you do
Yeah.
day-to-day.
Yeah.
Are you having a hard time trying to find qualified people to fill that role for you?
I don't think so.
No?
I put out my post for an executive administrator role. I put it out on like a Thursday. By the following Monday, I had 18 applicants, and the person I hired had 8 years of experience as a real estate paralegal.
And strictly on social media.
And it was I didn't post.
Just
Really?
Facebook,
Wow.
Instagram. That's
Yeah.
it.
The benefit of the podcast has been I've been in front of a lot of people, and so I think that helped. Riddy, who's joining the team on Monday, I'm really excited about it. I don't know what that position will entail,
Sure.
but I feel strongly that we have a good person for the position, and then ultimately, like I've got people who are helping me, like Cade. I've got my brother-in-law Colin. We've got Abdullah. We've got Steven. I've got a lot of guys who are working with me, who are helping facilitate the business, and it frees up my day to make the hard decisions,
Right, yeah.
which are hard when you have to make a lot. But
Sure.
when you only have to make 2 or 3 decisions a day, you can really make the important ones, right? So that's kind of where I'm at. I haven't really had a hard time, I don't think, with the.
Wait till you get about 80 to 90 staff.
I'm not looking to get there.
Scott, maybe one day, Scott. But one of these folks may need to go on vacation one day of your staff, and you say, "Do I request this?" Yes. Scott's gonna go on vacation or deny. I've learned that.
So we're talking from a director
No, you're
standpoint. now.
you're looking
That's
at
me.
HR too.
Yeah,
Yeah,
HR.
you know, I do the check marks or the X's just like he does for me.
Right.
Scott, this could be a paid
We
vacation,
joke.
right? It's
Yeah,
gonna be
we
a paid
joke.
vacation.
We joke that we're each other's HR.
Yeah.
So.
That's cool, man.
So, Kate, your goal's different.
I would say similar in some aspects, different from others. I'm still not ideally where I would like to be at, just even with my time commitment in. So I would really like to grow a significant amount more from where I'm at. And if that takes more time, I don't mind that whatsoever. I know it's going to take more time. I think once it's at that point, the shared vision is similar, in which, even now I'm starting, to hire and bring on team members who kind of bring in and fill these positions where a lot of people who, when you first make the jump into being a business owner or an entrepreneur or a solopreneur, I would say solopreneur more accurately, when it's just you. Right, you are wearing all of the hats in your business,
Multiple hats.
whether you like it, whether you love it, whether you hate it,
Right.
whether you're good at it,
Right.
whether you're shitty at it.
Totally.
Right, you're wearing all the hats, right? And as you progress, with growth and with success, it's time to start handing off those hats and delegating
Yes.
those tasks
Right.
or those all of those things, so that you can, like Scott mentioned, focus your time on those 2 to 3 important decisions per day. So I think to be able to get to that point, to kind of let this thing that is Barrett Real Estate, this thing that is real estate investments and sales, to, you know, kind of like raising a kid. You raise it to be 18 to 26 or something, whatever you want to call it, right? To then where that thing is now, it can run by itself with you completely out of the driver's seat, right? You know, I'm also similar to Scott in that it is strictly real estate the end game. No, what is all this other stuff? No fucking clue. But I think that comes with, you know, as you know, your networking grows, as your experiences grow, and growing this one business, you know, things start to branch out from there.
And that's my next question right there. Like, you guys have this goal. You reach a certain pedestal, and you want to reach this other goal. So part of your firm, are you guys looking to tap into different investments besides real estate, like you mentioned, venture out? Is that something that's in the future vision? Maybe venture out into different areas of investment besides real estate?
Besides properties.
Besides property? Is that something you guys think about?
Or can I add real quick?
Yeah.
So just to branch off of that just a little bit, I know you guys talk about goals and then what you guys envision. So once you guys meet this ultimate goal you guys have in the pursuit of property, right? I'm just going to shout that out there again.
See, that is the perfect use of the term, by the way. That's perfect.
Sam may be applying for one of those jobs.
Yeah, I was one of those applicants. Yeah, one of those 18. Yeah, you guys didn't hire me.
Play better.
But anyways, once you guys hit those goals, and then do you guys set your sights on something else that piques your interest? Or it's just property and then nothing else?
I'll go first real quick. So I mentioned that my family comes from like college graduates and all that. So I have 4 siblings. I'm the fourth of 5. I'm the only person in my family who's not in software security. So I have a background in business. I have a background in growing something from 0 to a certain amount. I've got some family members, including my dad, who have really, really great experience and decades of understanding of the tech sphere. And to me, the software security field has really developed. So I've kind of made it something in my kind of probably more like the 10-year mark. Where once I have the investing business running at a place that I'm happy with, I would like to jump into that.
Good.
Scott will still be under 30, everyone.
Yes, it will be.
Yeah, exactly. That's the goal. But, you know, you go from a cash flow business where a good property makes us maybe $200. If you're running a software security firm, I mean, an average client might make you $10,000 a month. So why would I buy a shitty house when I can make a lot of money? So that's kind of something. Frankly, I don't think if I hit that whatever pedigree that I'm looking for, I don't think that would stop me from working. I think honestly, more than anything, it would just be a transition from what I'm doing to what next. I've always kind of thought that it would be more of a mentorship, trying to teach people how to get there, but we don't know yet.
Yeah, and I think for the viewers too, when they see this, you know, I think the whole purpose of this podcast was really to highlight those experiences that you guys bring. And I think the viewers get to see a different side, a different component of developing from the ground up and where you guys are at now. And then your minds are still racing and growing and wanting to do more.
It's that hunger,
wanting
man.
to get back
You
to
guys
the
have
community and
hunger.
wanting to delegate and share this information with other young entrepreneurs growing, you know, and that's a beautiful thing, man. You know, so a lot of people will take that knowledge and go to the grave with it. You know what I mean? It's like, I'm a millionaire, billionaire, and I'm done. I don't need to share.
That's a misnomer. I don't think that's how that is.
Oh, go ahead and correct.
You
it.
disagree?
Yeah,
I love it.
Correct him.
Get
You
him.
tell me if I'm wrong.
Get him.
How many
No,
many people have you met who make a stupid amount of money, hide it? Like hide the information from people.
I wouldn't say it's the majority. Are there some people
There
like
are
that?
some.
Absolutely.
Sure.
Absolutely. Would I say it's the majority? in our experience, I would say no, it's not the majority. Now, are we being exposed to a limited sample size?
Sure.
Maybe. Sure. But, you know, absolutely there are people like that, you know, but is it the majority? I would like to think not.
And I think it's for most of the individuals to say, hey, I want to learn this. Let me go meet a millionaire and let me ask them these questions, right?
But I don't think I agree with Scott and Cade, because I think when you get to a certain point in your life or a certain threshold in your life, you know, you basically want to give back and kind of give the opportunity for these upcoming entrepreneurs, and you want to teach, you want to leave a legacy behind, you know, because once you reach your goal, there's always another goal to reach. You know, you gotta find something else. You know,
I gotta think it like I was working at a coffee shop doing jack shit. Why would somebody help me?
Yeah, right. Yeah.
Like it was because Benny was cool enough to help, and Benny is not. Although Benny is like the person who helped both of us, he's not the exception.
Yeah.
You know, it's pretty common.
But when you were at the coffee shop, right? We weren't at that space to think, hey, we could give back, because at that time we were like, oh,
yeah,
we're trying
you gotta
to
have something to give back.
Right.
Exactly.
Right.
You need to give experience back.
Right.
I was thinking more. Let me rephrase.
Yeah,
this.
rephrase.
Yes. Now that he knows he's wrong,
All of a sudden,
now that he's been corrected,
I'm thinking more of
You out of water, bro.
I'm thinking more of someone
Let me be your
wanting
therapist.
to learn.
Come on.
Right? And usually, if someone's so motivated and they know that this person made it, I'm going to go up to you and say, hey, dude, can you teach me this? Not often do someone have that courage to say, hey, you know what, Lucky? Hey, Cade, Scott, teach me what you know. I'm a little intimidated by that. But if you are willing to do that, I'm willing to learn. I'm willing to be active. I'm willing to be motivated to learn the skill set. If you want to teach me, I'm willing to take it.
So Lucky.
Yeah, that's what I meant.
Okay,
more.
that's probably because they see a little bit of themselves in that person.
Sure.
And then that's
rare though.
That's when they want to share that knowledge and experience and provide all the world that you know that they got to this one person. That's from my experience.
Yeah.
I don't know if you guys have other experiences like that.
But
you know,
but as a mentor, right? Like you, because it in my experience, you know, when you're trying to get to a certain place, you cannot take everybody with you, because it's up to the individual to want to say, hey, you know what, I want this. And some people, it's easy to say, hey, I want to do this, but then they're not motivated enough. Maybe in their mind, they're like, yeah, I want to do this, but then, you know, maybe
It's too hard, or they give up.
Yeah,
or
they
it's
give
too
up.
hard, or
They give up right away.
but
you know?
in my space, I share any knowledge, anyone,
Of course.
CNAs, nurses, anyone that wants to listen about therapy, I give it to them, man. Whether they like it or not, but I
With the
present
black
it.
couch.
It's the same.
whether they like it or not,
He
right?
loves to break it up. Huh? I'm like,
It's
first time I'm
totally-
being serious.
I know. We got our boy over here just spitting facts, and everybody's ganging up on him, trying to fucking put it.
No, it's like in my space too. I got 90 staff.
Yeah.
There's probably one or two that will come to my desk to say, Lucky, I want to go out to lunch with you. How do you develop this program? How do you write grants and policies, procedure?
Well,
you know,
yeah.
and so I'm like, do you want to learn? Because if you do, I'm going to teach you.
Well,
But if
yeah.
you don't, you know, I'm a little intimidated, but if I teach you this a little bit, you're going to take it with you. Maybe you become a director one day. That's that individual that I say, hey, let me give him that fire because he wants it.
I'm gonna light everyone's match, man. That's me. I'm gonna light everyone's match,
And I
whether they
think-
take it or
yeah.
not.
And I think what's important for somebody who's in that position where they do want to learn more, they do want to absorb the knowledge, they do want to get somewhere and fast track that, right? When you reach out to people, you know, the way we phrase it is reaching out to people who are doing what you want to do, right? They're doing what you want to do at a high level, right? You know, that person's time where they are now is extremely valuable. I'm sure, Lucky, your time's valuable. I'm sure everybody's time at this table is valuable, right? As that person, if you're reaching out and want to learn or take somebody to lunch, for example, right? You've got to find a way to provide value to that other person.
Sure.
Right? Because not everybody's going to say, yes, you know, I'll meet you for lunch and spend an hour and a half talking to you and giving you this whole thing. Because 99% of people who do that are going to take everything, all the gems that were dropped, they're going to take that and do jack shit.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
So if you're somebody who is in that position, looking to network, looking to grow, want to absorb knowledge from somebody else, find a way to provide value, right? Everybody has their own unique skill set. Sure. I don't care what you say, what you think, no matter where you're at, what you think you have, what you think you don't. Everybody has their own unique skill set, and figure out a way to provide value. Not everybody's going to say yes, right? And that's okay. That's the name of the game, right? But if you figure out a way to provide value, that's where the relationship with that person continues to grow even more, right? More. And you as the individual continue to grow. Right.
So what I'm hearing is if somebody reach out for you to be a mentor for them, don't just ask you for a coffee. Bring some value and let you know that the information that you're giving them, they're actually going to be using it. So how would people reach out to you guys to ask for mentorship? Instagram, Facebook?
Oh, okay. Plug them.
They're gonna get a lot of comments and messaging and emails.
Opportunity for a plug.
Yeah, so social media is the best way. Personally, I'm on Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, everything. Cade Barrett. We obviously run the Pursuit of Property podcast. You literally Google that thing anywhere, Spotify, Apple, YouTube, TikTok, Instagram. We're everywhere as the Pursuit of Property podcast too.
Sweet. I'm just under Scott Farrow.
That's it.
It's not just Scott Farrow, bro. It's the Scott Farrow.
Nice. All right, guys. So it looks like we're going to be wrapping things up right now. Is there anything that you want to kind of give our viewers? Any last say or any
advice?
Advice that you want to give them?
Quote, slogan, anything.
Whatever it is.
Defund the IRS because the camera's not featured towards.
Tip your landlord. Any of you renters out there, tip your landlord. They're putting in the sweat out there.
If you want to find any level of success, do something consistently over a long period of time, and shit will happen that you would never imagine.
Oh man,
nice!
I love it. Look at this guy.
Sweet.
Can you top that, Cade? Can you top
that? I don't think I can. No, I'll wrap it up really quick. I'll take a little bit longer. But
Scott just dropped the mic on you right now.
Building a business, being an entrepreneur, being a solopreneur, it can get very lonely, right? It can be very challenging. It can be very depressing at times, right? I commend all business owners, entrepreneurs, solopreneurs, everybody out there who's trying to build something, because it can be filled with all of these things, right? Find the right people, surround yourself with the right people, find people who are doing what you want to be doing at a high level. Put time into building those relationships, and that'll put you on the right track.
Yeah. So our young viewers out there, you surround yourself with positive people. They uplift you. You work in the same space. You build a network of friends, and you develop your career.
You are the sum of the 5 people you surround yourself by. So if you've seen people that aren't abundance mindset and more scarcity mindset, you need to go find a group.
Yep. Yeah. So one thing, you got to find your whys, right? From Simon Sinek, right? You guys listen to him. You got to find your why on why you're doing things. What motivates you, right? Why is this going to drive you to the next level? That's something I'm going to leave there. If you guys want to look him up, Simon Sinek, awesome speech person.
And we want to thank Cade and Scott. Yes. Really, you guys been amazing, and this is definitely a learning experience and a lot of knowledge that I took in. I don't know what the other guys think, but this is amazing.
Dude,
we appreciate you guys' time, and this is the first of our new studio, and there are actually our first guests on this podcast. So special, man.
Before you end it, thank you guys for correcting Soak there. Or Lucky. Thank you.
Put him in his place.
Thank you.
And we are out.
It ain't fun without that, right? It ain't fun without it.
All right, guys. Great session.
Yeah.